It's Davetona drive time for Monday, January 12th, 2026. This is the first proper episode I've recorded in 2026. If you were around last week, no you weren't, because I didn't release an episode last week. I've been really sick for the last 2 weeks. Literally after I recorded the last episode, which is right when I got off the plane from holiday vacay and driving back home from the airport, I got home and was just immediately like hit with sickness like a truck. Oh my God. And you can still hear it in my voice. It's still not perfect. I still got a lot of phlegm, all that gross stuff, but I'm better than where I was, and I've been able to stream a little bit since I've had the sickness. But it also meant I was out of commission from work for well over a week and a half at least. But yeah, I'm back at it now. I'm in the work truck right now. Not driving. I mean, we're in between live shots, and we're at, I wouldn't necessarily say a scene, but we're set up for a live shot every hour this morning. So I'm not driving around, just standing still. I hope to actually have this scenario more often when I'm recording this show. So video game stuff, not a whole lot of news. I mean, it's still the beginning of the year. Not a whole lot happening. From what I remember seeing according to Video Games Chronicle, VGC, if you will. I want to say that the newest story I saw this morning was apparently there's an event happening in Japan, it's called FPS Day, I think I saw. And one of the at this event there was a poster that's been seen by multiple people for a definitive edition for the Division 1. I've never played the Division 1 or 2 for that matter. It was like one of those not open, I guess it is open world. I've never played them, but they're like action RPGs, looter shooter kind of things, like a Destiny, right? I'm going to assume that's what those are. I never played them because me and my friends played Destiny when that was the big thing. But I don't know, for some reason, a definitive edition of the first Division kind of sounds up my alley right now. It sounds like something I want to play. That or the Division 2, if it goes down in price. I don't know. I've kind of an inkling to just kind of find a game that's more of a hobby now. You know? Something I can really sink my teeth into and just play continuously for a while. I don't really have a game like that right now. It was Apex. I guess it was Fortnite to some degree, but not to the level that Apex was. And I've taken a break from Apex and haven't really been playing Fortnite much anymore. I got Homer Simpson. I don't need anything else from Fortnite. I just need a game to play. Right now, me and my friends have been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 again, playing a lot of the multiplayer stuff. We probably boot that up once every year and a half or so whenever something cool happens. Granted, nothing cool has happened as of late that I'm aware of. I don't really pay attention to the updates for GTA 5 or GTA multiplayer or anything. Grand Theft Auto Online, if you will. But I've been having a blast, going back and playing a lot of that new stuff, or stuff that's been new to me. It's been a lot of fun. And we've just been doing a lot of wacky stuff. So trying to find a continuous online game or just a continuous game that me and my friends can be into. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And the Division sounds like something that kind of would fit that bill. I don't know, my friend, we played a lot of Destiny, and no one is interested in playing Destiny for very obvious reasons. But I keep looking at Destiny and damn, that's the game that game is doing, just shooting stuff, getting loot, just rinse and repeat. I don't know, there's something about that loop that just feels I don't know, it just seems like something I want to play right now. And then I look at stuff like Outriders that kind of does that same thing, but without the persistent online world thing, even though I think it's an online required game, but you know what I mean. I hope. I haven't played Outriders either, and I keep thinking about that one too. But then I think about games that I have, like I could go back to Remnant 2 and just finish the DLCs for that because I still haven't done that. And I fucking love Remnant 2. Remnant 2 is like one of the best games of this generation. One of my favorite games ever. I love Remnant 2. I don't talk about Remnant 2 enough. Remnant 2 is amazing. And I still play a lot of Remnant 1 because that roguelike mode that's in there is really, really awesome. Really well done. Anyway, the Division Definitive Edition. If that ends up being a real thing, like I'm pretty interested in it. I'd be interested in seeing what that's all about. And what else? There really hasn't been a whole lot of other news that has like really caught my attention, you know. More stuff comes out on Switch Online. You got that GameCube Fire Emblem game that came out. I can't say I'm like jumping at the gun to play a Fire Emblem game. Can't say I've ever have been, but that's cool, I guess. No, that's great. People who really want to play that game have a more like accessible and more legally accessible way of playing that game without paying $200+ for a GameCube copy. Jesus Christ. I remember working at the record store where we would sell video game stuff. We had a physical copy of that, and it was like, I think it was like $50 or $60. This is how long ago this was. And I remember at the time I was being like, damn, that seems like a lot of money. But retro game prices have astronomically skyrocketed. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised as a Saturn collector. I really shouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Not a whole lot of other news I could think of. In terms of games we've been playing, we've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto. And I guess I'm trying to think, what was the last time I talked to you guys? We were talking about stuff we played over the holiday. When I got back home, I finished Sulfur. That's all done as of right now. The game is still in early access, so I anticipate them adding more content. Although what got me into Sulfur finally, to like what made me be like, okay, now it's my time to play it, was that they added an ending and they added the endless mode. And I really wanted to play through this game because the gameplay loop that Sulfur has, I thought was so engrossing. I loved playing this game that I'm like, I need to get this endless mode. That seems like something I could like really sink my teeth into. So I played all the way through Sulfur. The final boss was insanely difficult, even though it's like it goes through waves and the waves just keep progressively getting faster and faster with the enemy attacks, and it's just, I wouldn't say it becomes predictable, but like if you're not careful you could just die instantly, which happened to me way too often. So I eventually just like would go on additional runs through pre-existing levels that I've been through and just building up a new character every time I get ready for the boss fight. Like I'll go find weapons from a run, upgrade those weapons, and get a bunch of resources together, make a bunch of food recipes, and pretty much just max my inventory out with nothing but food for my character to eat to heal. Which ended up working out because we finally beat the final boss. And then we get endless mode. And I really hope they keep working on this game because endless mode is absolutely not at all what I want it to be. I was really bummed out. The way endless mode works is that you're plopped into like a pretty small arena, but like you can hop around to like it's like you're on like a floating platform, but there are other floating platforms around you that you can just hop around to. Enemies will spawn pretty frequently, unlimitedly, in waves. And in between each enemy wave, you can like give yourself like an upgraded perk, like, oh, get more ammo reserves, oh, have your healing items do more, or stuff like that. Very, very Survivors-esque perk system. If you're familiar with like Vampire Survivors or Vagabond, games like that. Problem is, I think this mode is like so unbalanced. The enemies are so powerful. They take so many bullets to kill. They do so much damage to you. I can't get past wave 1. I physically I will like die instantly because like there are so many enemies and you just get swarmed, and I just don't have the firepower to take them out in the first wave. It's insane. Granted, I'm going in with a completely like naked character with like no armor and the default gun. The way the game, like when you die in the game, you respawn with no armor, no items, no nothing. You just get your default pistol and 60 bullets. And I've been going into the mode like that. And apparently, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go in with a fully kitted character off the bat, like fully maxed out gun, your armor, healing items at the ready. And I don't want to do that because it's an endless mode. You're more or less guaranteed to die at the end of it. And when you die in endless mode, you lose everything you brought into the mode. Everything. Like your fully upgraded gun, when you're done with endless mode, when you die, you lose that gun. So it's like, why would I bring my best weapons into a mode where I know where I'm going to permanently lose them? And granted, I haven't played it enough to see where the upgrade path goes, because like I just get trampled and destroyed every time I play this mode. And also, you're required to pay an in-game currency to access the mode. So in Sulfur, you take on quests from the individual characters that you find, and the quests pretty much come down to like, hey, I want this item, and I want this many of this item. And when you deliver it to them, you get stamps. And the stamps are good to add permanent upgrades to your base camp, or your church in this case. So like, added weapon storage or item storage, or access to a porta potty, which is actually like, think of it as like a portal that you can access items from in-game. So like, if you go to this porta potty in your church and you store weapons in it, there are certain breakable walls in the maps that you can destroy, and sometimes a bathroom is there, and then you can access the items that are in your bathroom like that. It's interesting. It's kind of fun. And then outside of that, like, you're mostly just doing it for the upgraded item storage. But also you can unlock ways of like disenchanting items that you have upgraded, that kind of thing. So like if you take a weapon and put like a enchantment or an oil on it that you don't like the effect that it has, you can remove that effect. But when you remove it, that effect is permanently gone. Like it doesn't like give it back to you to put on another weapon or anything like that. Like once you've unenchanted a weapon, like the effects of it are just permanently gone. So upgrades like that. So those stamps are valuable for upgrading your base camp. Those stamps are required to play the endless mode. And as of right now, it's only one stamp to enter the endless mode. Now, excuse me, I'm sorry. Now, one of the first, when you beat the first wave, one of the little perks is like, yeah, you can choose like add more ammo, better healing or whatever. But another thing you have options for is skipping that upgrade and just moving on to the next wave, or relinquishing what perks you would get, instead get another stamp, which is what I would do, because I've already paid a stamp to get in. I want that stamp back so I know I have access to the endless mode again. But then I just get trampled by enemies that are way too powerful, that do too much damage, and then I don't have enough firepower to take them out. So it more or less just, it kind of becomes a failsafe at that point. I don't know. I really have not been enjoying what endless mode is. I really hope the developers are looking at options of making it more accessible and making it way less punishing, because while the game is punishing in its own way, like in a very Tarkov-ish kind of way, where it's like, hey, if you die, you fucking lose everything you had, you know? But the gameplay loop was so good, and like the item management and the gunplay and everything like that, and exploration and everything, it just felt so good and so fun to play, that having a very half-baked, subpar endless mode that is way too unbalanced seems like a criminal act for what this game has on offer. I really hope they go back and rebalance it, or at least have the options to like give people a way of playing it to where it's like, oh, you want to go in naked? Here, yeah, we'll balance the game for that play style, you know? I really want to play this game more. But granted, I hit credits, I beat the final boss. So there isn't, other than endless mode, there isn't a whole lot else for me to do, except for completing other character quests. But at that point, it's just going to get me stamps so I can go into endless mode more. Though there are more things in the church that I can unlock, and it mostly comes down to like picture frames that I can decorate with my favorite weapons and stuff. Or weapon racks and other things like that. But yeah, I haven't touched Sulfur since I beat it and played the endless modes. Did pick up a few things on the Steam Winter Sale though. Mostly just racing games. I did buy, what was it, right when I boarded my flight back home, before I had to put my phone in airplane mode, I saw a post that River City Ransom Underground was being delisted, and it was like $3, so I was like on the plane, like, yeah, might as well. Haven't played it. I don't know if I'll ever get around to playing it, but I have it if I ever want it. And then I got home, got sick, and then bought some games on the Steam sale. I played them on stream. The first stream I had since I got back. We played Baja Edge of Control. Baja Edge of Control HD. It's an HD remaster of Baja Edge of Control, which came out on PS3 360 in like 2008, I think. This remaster came out in 2017, I believe. And this was a game that was recommended to me by Greg Seward years ago. Former EGM editor or former EGM guy and just a video game guy in general. He does the Player One podcast, Generation 16 on YouTube. But yeah, back in the Twitter days, he recommended I check this game out. And it was like $4, $4, $6 or whatever. Either it was enough it was small enough of a price to be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot finally. And boy, does this game hit the right notes. Like, aesthetically, and like how the game looks and feels and plays, it reminds me a lot of those like old school like MX ATV style games, like specifically Motocross Madness on PC, like just where the chase cam is, how your vehicle reacts to the terrain, how wide open these open world maps are that you can just fully explore in free run mode or whatever. It like evokes a lot of that. It's just you're not driving an ATV or an MX or like a motocross bike. You're driving like dune buggies and like trophy trucks and stuff like that. It's awesome. This is exactly what I've been looking for. And I'm so glad I ended up buying it. I've been having a great time with it. I can't believe it took me this long to finally give it a shot. It's definitely something right up my alley. And if it sounds interesting to you, I streamed it like a couple weeks ago. Go check out the stream if you want to see what this game is all about. And it's pretty old. I mean, yeah, it came out in 2008, and HD Remaster is like 8 years old now. 9 years old now. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it goes on sale on Steam. It gets pretty cheap. I'd recommend it. Another racing game I bought, which I didn't stream, was a game called ExoCross. Now, ExoCross is a very, very fascinating game to me. ExoCross is a off-road arcade-style racing game, kind of with a futuristic aesthetic, but it's made by iRacing. iRacing, the like super hardcore racing sim people, where it's like pay like $10 a month to play our game and then pay real ass money to buy tracks and cars. Like super highly dedicated people who like are super into racing, sim racing specifically. Like this is what like NASCAR drivers and F1 drivers used to train at home, that kind of thing, with their full-on racing setups. My only experience with iRacing has been whenever I'm like, Micro Center has a racing rig setup where you can like test it out, demo it in store, and it's for iRacing. When I was at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they had a like a little track day thing where it's like, oh, hey, set lap times around IMS and see how you can do. And it's in iRacing. Like, that's my only experience playing iRacing, because I have no desire to pay a subscription to play the game. So here they are, the people who are known for making these insanely in-depth, crazy hardcore racing sims, and they put out an arcade racer. This is from 2024, by the way. It doesn't say who the developer is on Steam, it just says it's by iRacing. But it's a futuristic off-road arcade racer by iRacing. And I thought that was super interesting. And I'm like, what business do they have making an arcade racer? Like, what is that good for them to do? And then I realized that, like, they're also putting out a thing called iRacing Arcade, which, granted, it's by Original Fire Games, the people who do Circuit Superstars, and who were making Karting Superstars, which ended up getting paused. But more or less aesthetically follows those two games to a T, essentially. Like, those look exactly like Circuit Superstars, just with the iRacing logo on it. But it's another arcade racer. Like, iRacing is putting a lot of development resources and money and time into revitalizing arcade racers. It's really fascinating to see. Like, I don't know what they're getting at or why they're doing it, but I'm here for it. Like, if there's ever a big budget company out there who can put a lot of money behind, like, really basic fun arcade racers, like, you know, they have my support. I think that's really cool. I want to see more companies do that, and I'm glad a company like iRacing is supporting the cause of making more arcade racers. And as far as I know, ExoCross was their first go around at doing this. It came out in 2024. It's only on Steam, I believe. I don't think it was released anywhere else. I could be wrong, but as far as I know, it was only on Steam. When it's not on sale, the game's like $20, and when it is on sale, when I got it for $4. Now, I did buy this game months ago on a previous sale, but I ended up refunding it because I was having some pretty intense controller issues where, like, the game was just so completely, the menus and the controls and the driving were so unresponsive to the controller I was using, or just when I was playing with the controller and everything, it just was unplayable. I just refunded it on the spot, and then I realized, oh, my controller is just really fucked up. My controller was just broken. So I wanted to give the game another shot with an actually functioning controller. And I'm very glad I did. I think ExoCross is really fun. It's, like I said, it's an off-road racer with a futuristic aesthetic. The main thing about this game is that it's in the far-flung future. You're on an Earth-like planet, but there's no real inhabitants on this planet. And these off-road vehicles that you're driving are unmanned. There's no pilot in it. It's just a machine on wheels, essentially. And the lore as it goes is that you are a sim racer who's remoting into these unmanned vehicles and driving them around this deserted, recently found planet. Which, okay, sure, that's a neat thing. The thing though is that this new planet is very Earth-like. So even though it's futuristic on a new planet, you're driving around forests that look like Earth. And the only thing futuristic is that the trucks have cool lights on them, have no pilot, and there are occasionally some futuristic structures somewhere. And, like, there's, like, hovering structures that, like, act as checkpoint markers that have little holograms on them. Other than that, you're just kind of driving through wilderness. But some of the locales, like, you're driving through a forest. Other ones, you're driving through, like, a very Mars-like landscape. That, like, with, like, red dirt and, like, all that. It looks like Mars. Another one has you driving on a snow-covered area, but you're driving strictly on, like, an elevated platform above the surface of the planet. but this elevated platform already has a bunch of dirt on it, so you're still driving on like the planet surface. Essentially, you're just elevated above it, kind of like very F-Zero like in terms of like where the track is. But the fact that there's dirt on it, I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah, they have there's like 4 pre-existing environments and like different track layouts built into them. And yeah, you're just with the championship mode. You goes through. I want to say there's 6 championship series, and only 3 vehicles. Essentially, works like Mario Kart style, where like each vehicle is just faster than the other. Like 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, and essentially each vehicle is just a different speed class. The handling model, I think, is excellent. The way your tires like handle like driving across the surface, your cars are really slidey, but the way that you can like counterbalance it and like or counter steer with it, you got the brake and the handbrake, it all feels really slick. It's a really good feeling driving model. One that probably doesn't fit too well with an off-road style game, but it gives the impression that these machines you're driving are like super heavy and really fast, but not as nimble as you would kind of want them to be. So like you have to like balance out the weight of these heavy machines with like how fast you're going, and like I don't know, I feel like it's a really fun, good trade-off. Also, your vehicles can get damaged, like your wheels can fall off if you hit like if you get into like too big of an accident. At that point, you just respawn. Just like whenever hold down X, respawn your vehicle, wait 3 seconds, and then your vehicle's back up to full strength. You also have boost, which refills very slowly, but if you're drafting behind another car, it refills much faster. Which, if you're in first place, your boost fills very slowly. I found in the later difficulty, like in the later speed levels, the AI doesn't put as much of a fight as much as they do in like the first 2 Grand Prix. I thought in the first 2 Grand Prix, like they put up way, like the AI was like incredibly aggressive. But in the later ones, I thought your car was just going way too fast against the other cars, where it's like, even if you fuck up multiple times and your other opponent cars get ahead of you, like you can easily outmaneuver them and outperform and outdrive them, like in terms of like your car performance compared to theirs. It's really strange. I feel like the AI difficulty got easier with the later championship stages. But also, as you get faster cars, they become way more difficult to control, which is primarily where the difficulty comes into play for those later stages. Especially not on those tracks that are elevated above the surface. Like, you really got to be like extra careful and be super accurate with your steering and counter steering. But there's a lot of play in terms of like trying to get the vehicles under control. But I think it feels great. I think it's really fun. I think my biggest complaint though is that I'm already done with it. There's not a whole lot of content here. You have the 6 championship series. Each, like the first 2 have like 4 tracks. The next 2 have like 6, and then the final 2 have 10 tracks. And they reuse a lot of the same track layouts. There's only like 4 environments and like 4 different layouts per environment. And then like there's also like, oh, you could do these layouts in reverse and stuff, which is a nice way of adding some bonus like content to it, I guess, in a way. But also, like, you're just driving through wilderness, essentially, on this new deserted planet, and there's not a ton of variety outside of, like, the different biomes you're in. But they all kind of, like, handle the same. I don't know. It prides itself on being a futuristic racer, but if you're, like, you can just get rid of, like, the little floating platforms and, like, holograms and put a driver in your truck, and it's easily not futuristic anymore. I don't know. I feel like the futuristic stuff is very half-baked, but for what it is, I think it's really fun to play around with. It doesn't last very long, sadly. The community support really isn't there much anymore. It has, like, weekly challenges, and there are people still competing on the leaderboards, But in terms of playing multiplayer races, there's really not many people doing that. So at $20, I mean, it's a budget title. I think it looks great. I think it plays great. It's a really fun game to play. There's just not a whole lot there outside of, like, in terms of content. Like, it's got a super solid foundation for a great arcade racer. It just needs some more stuff to it. So I'd still say I'd recommend it if you can get it on sale. I got it for like $4, and I don't regret it at all. I had a great time playing it. And even though I'm done with championship mode, I'll still probably boot it up every so often just to, like, I don't know, just drive around the tracks. I don't know. I think it felt really fun to just, like, fling my car around corners at high speeds and just, like, wrestle it to center it back on track. I don't know. It's a really great handling model. I think they did a great job with it. And in terms of, like, production value-wise, like, visually, I think it looks outstanding. So they're definitely making some, like, high-quality looking arcade racers. There's just not a whole lot of content to it. But I would say this is more of, like, a proof of concept in terms of, like, trying to gauge interest in an arcade racer. So they got the handling great. They got the visuals really nice. Just not a whole lot of content. But for $4, you could do a lot worse for $4. I do recommend this game when it's on sale. I think it's really solid. But yeah, that's ExoCross by iRacing. And then another game I bought during that sale was a game called Rainy Day Racer. I had never heard of it until I saw it on sale for like 99 cents. And sight unseen, I just threw it in the cart because I read the description for it. It was like racing around a Scottish town during the rain, during a rainy day with Ridge Racer style handling. And I'm like, sold. Immediately sold. It's only got 3 tracks, only got 3 cars. It's only time trials. And it's exactly what the description says. It feels like Ridge Racer to an extent. Sense of speed's pretty good. It looks like a lo-fi PS1 game. And you just drive around Scottish towns and the Scottish seaside when it's raining out. And it's pretty fun for what it is. I also played that on stream. But yeah, it's just a really basic time trial game. I don't know how much it costs when it's not on sale. I only bought it because it was 99 cents, which for 99 cents, it's a fun little diversion. I don't know how frequently I'll go back to it, but I think for what it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. Rainy Day Racer. I'm pretty sure I bought one more game on the Steam sale, but it is... I am blanking. I have no idea what it was. I'm pretty sure I bought 4 games. I'm going to pull up my Steam right now and see what it was. If I don't remember it, it's probably because I haven't played it yet. View purchase history. Here we go. What did I buy? I bought Baja Edge of Control, ExoCross, Rainy Day Racer. Oh, okay. The other 2 games that I actually haven't played yet are El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron HD Remaster. I've been wanting to play El Shaddai for years and just never got around to getting it, so I finally have the HD Remaster. And Vanquish. I bought Vanquish on PS3 and just never got around to finishing it. So this is my year to finally play and finish Vanquish. I should probably add that to my games I want to finish list. Also, I can't believe I never owned this until now. I got Ridge Racer Unbounded. I bought that a few days ago when the Steam sale was just about ending. Because it was like $3 and it comes with all the DLC. That'll be a fun stream. I'm really looking forward to playing Ridge Racer Unbounded. I feel like that's right up my alley. Even though it's like Ridge Racer in name only, I love Bugbear racing games. I think Bugbear does exceptional work when it comes to arcade racers. It's weird that Namco gave them the Ridge Racer name to make something that's not Ridge Racer. But it's a Bugbear racing game. I think I'm going to have a good time with it. If you're not familiar with Bugbear, they did Flat Out 1 and 2. And they also did Wreckfest 1 and 2, which Wreckfest 2 came out fairly recently. But what I think is very cool is that Bugbear also did the PSP version of Sega Rally Revo, which shares a lot of the assets from the existing Sega Rally 3 and Sega Rally Revo on consoles, but it's a completely different game. Has completely different tracks. The handling model is slightly different, but only ever so slightly, but it has unique tracks and stuff like that. So I want to do a video on that so bad. Like how Sega managed to make 3 different Sega Rally 3 games. Or like arcade Sega Rally 3, Sega Rally Revo on console, and Sega Rally Revo on PSP. All sharing the same assets, but are all 3 completely different games. And they're all good. So one of these days, I want to make a video about that. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. And in terms of content making, just been doing a lot of busy work. I'm working on making my little office into a proper studio setup. It's coming together really nicely. I'm really liking how it's coming. Because I want to do streams from like my little couch in the office. Speaking of streams, I'm in the middle of playing or beating the original Super Mario Brothers. We streamed that this past Saturday. I played it for like 3 hours, and I'm stuck on World 8, which is the final world. 8-3. Like I've heard about how 8-3 is hyped up to be this insanely intense, difficult gauntlet. And my problem is finally getting to 8-3, because 8-1 and 8-1 I can get through with relatively few problems. I just make dumb mistakes, really dumb platforming mistakes. 8-2 I have so many problems with, because you got the little bullet bill cannons firing at you, and I can never properly gauge like when they're going to fire, if they're going to fire, and stuff like that. And then you get to 8-3, and those Hammer Bros, like, it's just flat terrain with 4 Hammer Bros in a fucking row. Like, what do you do about that if you don't have a fire flower? Which, as far as I know, there's only like 1 item box before that point in all of World 8, and it's just a mushroom, and that's all you get. I don't know if I'm missing something, but holy shit, this game is so hard. I underestimated how difficult the original Super Mario Brothers is, and I still have yet to finish it. So I'm going to find time this week to stream it some more, because I need this. I need my completion of Super Mario Brothers to be documented on the internet for my own personal sake. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. That's what I've been doing, and I think that's going to do it for this. Sorry for no episode last week. I was just so fucking sick, and you can still kind of hear it in my voice, but I'm doing better. So thank you for dealing with me as I go through this. But now that we're back on track with episodes, I hope you stick around and listen some more, because there's more on the way, and more streams on the way. Still streaming once a week, still doing this once a week. It's nice to have a routine going. So thank you all for watching on YouTube. Thank you all for listening in whatever podcast app of choice you have. Which, we're on Amazon Podcasts, we're on iTunes. There's an RSS feed that you can just plug this into whatever podcast app you have. Wherever you listen to it, if the option is there to leave a review or a like or whatever, you should probably do that. I hear that actually helps the algorithm thing. I don't know. I never really ask and beg to be like, hey, like this and comment and subscribe and do all this. But, you know, we'll see how that goes. If you like it, do that stuff. If you don't like it, you know, tell me why. Leave a comment on YouTube, or just, I want to know how I can improve on this, except besides just being a more entertaining person to listen to. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. I'll catch you next week. Take care.